to the Linux application
again. So this would be the second part of my lecture with regard to the Linux applications. So this time around, we'll be looking into the installation of productivity or office productivity tools or software for Linux. So the main productivity software that we will be installing today would be Libreoffice. So this is a open source counterpart for Microsoft Windows Office 365 and Office applications. And we'll look into using the terminal as a means to install LibreOffice. Let's take a look first at the three major steps in installation of LibreOffice. So the first one is we need to update Fedora. Okay? This is to make sure that we are actually running the latest packages on our Fedora system and that our LibreOffice or any software that we install will be compatible with the build of our operating system. So in this case, in order to update Fedora, we use this command, sudo dnf-y update. Oops. So sudo dnf So once we're done with the typing for the sudo dnf, we'll show you, ask for your password as it always does with the first time installation or for using super user do. So we just type in the password that we have for the user and wait for a moment. After a while, it would actually show you the amount and size of the files that are needed for the update of your existing operating system. So in this case, it's almost 1 gigabyte and around multiple files. I can't get to determine how many files is that. Around 400 packages, I think. So we just have to wait, and we'll go back once the installation or the update is done. Okay, after the installation process and after restarting our operating system, we can now proceed to our second step. So the second step includes downloading LibreOffice. So in this case, we'll be using wget as our command. So we'll just put in the website. This is the main path for the latest edition of LibreOffice. And let's check if it works. LibreOffice /table /6.4.4 /rpm /x86 64 LibreOffice underscore 6.4.4 underscore Linux underscore underscore x86-64 underscore rpm dot tar dot gz. So it went to the website and trying to see if the file that I was requesting was available. Unless I mistyped something on the address, this wouldn't work. And looks like it did. It seems that I am getting the file Libreoffice 6.4.4 Linux. Uh-huh. It doesn't say here how large the file is, but I'll be able to download it within a few, so last minute or so. Well, you can go to the website and actually copy and paste the link from the website, or you could download it there instead. But we're looking into the route of going through the terminal for the installation of the software of LibreOffice, as to make sure that you'll get used to using the terminal instead of the GUI. This is quite essential, as we mentioned already, if you work in systems administration and maintenance, systems admin, network admins, etc. Last 10 seconds. So if you'll notice, the LibreOffice file is in .tar. .tar is actually it's like a compression system, like zip or rar, where it compiles multiple files together as a single file. Then we use tar to extract the file itself and then have it installed on our system. So once we have downloaded the file, let's check if it's on our system. Yes, it is. Here you go. We will now be installing or going to step 3, which is the installation of LibreOffice on Fedora. So we type in tar, xvf, x is extract, v is verbose, f is file. What file? This file. Let's see if we can copy paste this one. Well, you can't. I am sorry. So used to doing it that way. 6.4.4 underscore Linux underscore x86 dash 64 underscore rpm dot tar dot gz. So this would be extracting our tar file. Okay. So we have extracted our tar file. So we already have our RPM. Let's check our files and see. So we now have our RPM or our package. Okay. So let's create a folder for LibreOffice inside our root folder, or root directory rather. So 6.4.4 Linux x86 underscore x86 dash 64 underscore rpm. Okay. So let's check. Wait, I did create the Wait, I did not create the directory yet. Where is that? Sudo dnf install asterisk dot rpm. Asking for my password again. Oops, it's not cnf, it's dnf. Okay, so it's doing the installation. Oops, the rpm is not there. Oh, let's name the file instead. Install wait, let's go back to the cd Libreoffice underscore 6.4.4.2 underscore Linux underscore x86 dash 64 underscore RPM. Okay, I made a mistake a while ago that I was trying to change directory. We created the directory for the RPM, but I was unable to go to the directory as I mistyped one of the names of the folders or the directory. So I took quite a look at the directory and saw my mistake, and then here we go. Then we go to the RPMS, and then that's where we'll type the installation. Okay. So around size around 600 megabytes, and it's installing. I don't know how long this would take. We'll go back once the installation is done. And now we're done. So the number of packages that was installed was around 42. So we have installed LibreOffice. Of course, we cannot access it through the terminal. We'll be looking into our GUI and check if we already have the LibreOffice. Let's show the applications, and there we go. So let's have an overview of the different productivity software that were installed. Let's start with this. So this is LibreOffice, the document foundation. And we have the LibreOffice. Okay, so this one is one of their main tools to open up several of the different Word files. So Writer, which is the counterpart of MS Word. This is like MS Excel. MS PowerPoint. This one is like Visio and Math Formula. In Windows, it would be a math editor, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So let's try opening the other. So that's just like a portal for opening the LibreOffice databases or the documents. So this one is the LibreOffice database wizard. So the counterpart of this is MS Access. Okay? So if you're going to create a database as simple and do it as simple as possible, you can use this or MS Access. But of course, once you get to used to your studies in IT and computer science, you'll learn of the different things that we use actually for database management. Next, let's go on to the second one. Second one is like our MS Excel. Okay. So this is their LibreOffice Calc or Calculate, okay, which gives us a sense that it has almost the same functions or for general use needed just like in MS Excel. Next we have the LibreOffice Draw, the counterpart of Visio. Okay. In most Office 365 packages, Visio is not included, but for LibreOffice, Draw is actually part of the suite. So this is what you use if you're going to create flowcharts, circuits, and other sort of drawings that you might need. Next, let's go to our fourth one, which is the Impress, which is of course the counterpart of our PowerPoint and Office 365. So we could use different presentations, themes, adjust them. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not part or scope of our discussion on the use of this software. But if you're already used to using the MS Office 365 suite, you'll have no problem or you'll just have a minor learning curve in shifting to LibreOffice. Okay. Now, let's go to the last one, which is our math editor. No, not the last one, second to the last. Which is our math editor. We use this to easily put in operators, mathematical expressions, formulas, which is actually quite hard to do if we're just going to use MS Word or MS Writer or LibreOffice Writer alone. So you have different packages here for relations, functions, formats, so on and so forth. Then you just copy paste it to your existing other productivity software like in your Impress or your Writer. Then the one that you're gonna use most often would be our LibreOffice Writer, the counterpart of Office 365 Word. Okay? So it looks like the original look of the original MS Word from 2007, if I'm not mistaken. So most of the typing needs or office needs is enough for the LibreOffice suite. Now, another thing that we would be needing is a image processing software. So in that case, the one that we use would be GIMP or GIMP. So we will now go into the installation of GIMP. Okay, now we're going to go into the installation of GIMP, or New Image Manipulation Program. So this is a great alternative to available commercial software, and we could use this to do lots of things, even complicated image processing and even animations. So it will be easier to install GIMP as it is in the Fedora repository. So we just have to put in sudo, just a moment, sudo dnf install GIMP. Okay, we'll be asking for your password as you are using sudo. Okay. It's checking for some of the systems, and it will be installing 31 packages. Total download size is around 41 megabytes with installed size of around 200 megabytes. So we'll click yes and wait for it to install. Then we get GIMP. Just like with the LibreOffice, the use of GIMP is not covered by our discussion, just how we could install it. So if you want to learn more on using GIMP, you could actually look into lots of tutorials online in YouTube and some online courses that are free that will give you a head start in using GIMP. Best thing about GIMP or GIMP is that it's free, it's open source, and it would actually be updated regularly as many professionals or IT professionals are working on the updates and the improvement of the software. So I think it's going pretty well. We're already almost on the 31st. And it's trying to finish up the last package. So the whole GIMP is actually made up of 31 packages altogether, or at least needs 31 packages to be able to run. It's running a scriptlet, then verifying the programs, and it's complete. Then it shows you a summary of the packages that were installed. So let's go to our show applications, and we'll be able to see the new image manipulation program, or GIMP. Okay. So in this case, this is GIMP 2.10, and once we're done, we'll be able to do some image manipulations and some animations. So there you have it. So that is how we install productivity software and image manipulation software, GIMP, in our Fedora 31. So that ends our lesson for this pre-finals. We just have to wait for the next meeting to start our discussion on scripts in Fedora 31. Again, if you have any questions, or you can offer any corrections or suggestions or comments, do not hesitate to include it in the comment section. Thank you very much, and stay safe.